Sup nerds, I'm Tom.
I'm Wes.
Magnets, baby.
Magnets. Okay, what? Like making magnets, collecting magnets,
Playing with magnets?
Just magnets.
So 2 quick caveats before we get started. First of all, we are playing with a prototype here, so obviously there could be minor changes. Don't take everything as 100%. You know the whole drill. But the second thing is this video is brought to you by GameToppers. They're the sponsor of Neverboard Gaming, have been for many years. It's what we're filming on right now. It's what we play on. It's what Wes, did you see him caress it? Like,
I could also do the little
link in the description box down below. Get yourself one.
So at its core, GRUNTZ is a 1v1 tactical dudes on a map game where you've got your small little map here and you're deploying all your people out onto the map and moving them around, trying to defeat your opponents and then capture the little hot zones that are out there.
It's probably the simplest war game or the simplest complex game because like the rules are like barely even like a page.
Yeah.
Like, it's so heavily based on the types of units, and you don't have that many different types of units, but you have enough, and they are different enough to where like what a good turn is really hard to pull out. Like there's 3 points in the middle of the board that you want to control 2 of at the end of your turn, and you'll get a star. If you control all 3 of them, you'll get 2 stars, and it's the first player to 3 stars. So it says 20 minutes on the box, and that might even be you could have a game that goes 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you know? This is like a travel game. Like, look at how big our game topper is. Link in the description down below. But look at how big it is, and look at how tiny. We're spread it out so it doesn't look. But like this is like the travel war game.
Yeah.
Like, you don't really have that, and you even think like, look at the size of this map. You're not going to be able to do that much. You can't move all the right. Like, really, what can you do? You can do a lot. You can do an awful lot because there's different movement from the different units, but most importantly, there are different spaces for things like the planes. They can just dive down and just wipe out an entire line of units if you're not careful, and that's happened before, and it doesn't feel good.
The turns are very quick, where you can either deploy 2 units and move 1, or move 2 units and deploy 1. So you're not doing a ton each turn, so it's very little like attrition. You know, it's not like I'm just going to go and big power move to wipe across the map.
Well, if you're plane, you can do it, but
well, if you line up your planes, but also you can't like dive bomb yourself, so you have to line it up perfectly such that you have a strafing run that you can do to wipe out a bunch of their units and not have any of yours in the way. But a lot of it is like, oh yeah, I have a guy in the spot, and then I move in and take that guy out. Now I have the spot, and then you come in and take me out with your tank, who can wipe out a bunch of guys, but also, like, he can't take the spot. Like, he's not going to score points for having it.
It actually is sort of like chess-like in that it's not necessarily the turn you're thinking of. You're thinking of how the other player is going to respond and then what you're going to do to that. I played chess for a very, very small period of my life, and it's apparently very big, too. It's not about the turn you're taking, it's about the turn they're going to take afterwards and blah, blah, blah.
And it's about, like, 3 turns ahead. It's very much, it's not,
feels that way.
I got there, yay! And then I'm dead now. It's very much setting up such that I get my guys onto the spot to get points, and then I set other things up to defend them and to make it, well, if you take that up, you're going to die immediately. And then getting your bases out there, because with all the different attachments you can put on your vehicles, one of them being a new place to deploy units from, so you can, you want to take out their units, because if they have the hot zones where they're getting points, that obviously needs to be your first priority, is take that away, because 3 stars wins the game. So if they hold those points for 3 turns, then they've already won. So you need to eliminate those guys, but you also need to get them yourself. So like if you send a tank or a truck out there to eliminate their guys, well, you still don't have those spots. So even though you're stopping them from progressing, you're not actually like getting closer to victory either.
And one thing you said there, and we alluded to it at the beginning, is that there are magnets on these pieces, which is so cool and so clever and such an innovative mechanic, but also like it's utilized in the gameplay because you have 2 trucks and 3 tanks, but those are the bases. You have 2 truck tanks. You have 2 truck bases and 3 tank bases, and you can either put, like you said, a thing that'll let you deploy from there, a thing that'll let you attack most units, or a thing that'll block. It doesn't attack, but it does block. It's anti-aircraft. It does block the aircraft, and that's pretty. You may even think like anti-aircraft, that's not going to do that much. All it does is stop their movement. But strategically speaking, that can be really beneficial. Because again, the airplanes just swinging by and just taking out a whole line of your troops is something that can definitely happen.
Yeah, if you can line up a good airstrike, you can wipe out like half their force in one move.
Mm-hmm, yeah, so it's definitely something to think about. It's very powerful, but you know, it's situational. You have to be able to pull it off.
And there are ways to mitigate it with the anti-aircraft.
Right. And the other thing we haven't mentioned so far is we keep talking about owning these control zones here. If you have a captain, if you can get this guy all the way across the board to your other the other players like star, their home base or whatever you call it, you'll win that way as well, and you win immediately. It doesn't matter how many stars you have. That is probably also a much harder thing to do, but it is cool whenever games have multiple win conditions. You can be focusing up on stars and not really noticing, especially because you can do 2 moves in a turn, and whenever you move a captain, you move all the grunts that are adjacent to him, so you can kind of build like a little like protective shell, and with anti-aircraft you can do it. So like it'd probably be, honestly, a more like a cooler win. Like, you feel better about your life and who you are and the decisions you've made and, you know, what's in your future.
I also like how all of your vehicles and all of the components to them are piece limited. So when you do lose a tank or a truck, it does kind of hurt. Because if you're kind of willy-nilly and you get a bunch of, you know, if you have all your tanks lined up and they can wipe out all 3 of your tanks in one strafing run with the plane, hypothetically, because you don't have any anti-aircraft, you are seriously crippled in the game. Or if you lose all your planes, like, you know.
Yeah, that too.
The fact that those guys are piece limited makes it so you want to get them all out there, but also you don't want to risk losing them all. But also the grunts they're not limited. They can just keep coming back and back. So they do really feel like you're grunts, that you're just kind of like wave after wave of...
I sent wave after wave of my own men at them until they reached their limit and shut down.
But also, like, the games don't last so long that you're just like, oh, I lost these pieces early on, and now I'm going to have the next, like, hour
minutes,
of, you know, just, oh, no, I lost losing your queen in chess, and you just feel like...
Yeah. You just feel like what? So if you're a fan of tactical war games, or even if you're a fan of like abstract games, I would say, because it still kind of falls under that category, like we've compared it to chess, the fact that it's really small and really compact, there's a lot of game in there, but not a long slog of a game that's going to take forever.
And there's not a ton of rules to keep track of either.
Certainly not a ton of rules.
Very simple to teach, quick to teach, really quick to play, and just, if you like that kind of game, if you like those tactical war games and you want a little micro version of it to play at the restaurant, at the brewery where you're hanging out with your buddies, this game is perfect.
It's very travel. It's almost something you could play on a plane.
Almost. Throw some more magnets in there.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to bring it through security because the magnets. We're going to put a link to the campaign down below. It is currently on Kickstarter.
Also down there is a link to GameToppers. We highly recommend a GameTopper. Play big or tiny games on it. Either way, they're fantastic. Also down there is going to be a big old button. It's not like that big. It's like this.
Have you ever been on YouTube before? It's the subscribe button. You killed 2 of my tanks? When did that happen?
Early on, but I'm about to kill a lot of people. Move.
Oh my god!